where we had first started, where you saw it on the initial slide. So I was like, all right, let's maybe break it down a little bit more. So I broke it down and I found this app called My Symptoms, because I wanted to see if I can find a way to monitor his flares, because we can all say, oh, I had a flare this day. Oh, I didn't have flares on that day. But in reality, I don't even remember what I did yesterday. So I'm not even gonna go with what I thought or what I may remember, because I can assure you we're not nowhere near as close as we thought, because even I myself was nowhere near as close as I thought when I would tell my doctors what I told them. So this app helped me out in getting the food, scanning it, putting the ingredients in. And what I really liked about it is that if you had meat that had mixed in or seasoned or already pre-mixed, and even though it was even saying gluten free, it allowed me to break it down. Like, so for example, you'll see breakfast. That is actually something that my son ate. And you'll see everything broken down there. And it just gave me an eye opener, because when I would put meat in there that was already pre-mixed with something, it allowed me to separate everything that was in the ingredient section. Was it lengthy? Yes. Is it tedious? Yes. Does it get annoying? Absolutely. Is it satisfying with the results? It is priceless. So if you want that priceless feeling and you really want your body back, especially for those who are children, if you are a parent and you are the parent to a child, please put that effort in there, because your child deserves it. They have I'm gonna get emotional here, because I thought about my son's future. I thought about who will want him, who's gonna want to marry my son, who's gonna want to take care of him the way I take care of him, who's gonna want to, look at his body, who's gonna want to have a sexual relationship with him. These are the things that crossed all my mind, along with the, how he felt, the pain, the hurt, the embarrassment, the self-consciousness, the, feeling down and low and depressed, and just overall everything. So if you are a parent, please do it for your kid, because it's worth it. And if it's for yourself and you're older and you feel like you've done it all, there's no wrong in just starting over and doing it again. You are not 6 feet underground. You are still roaming this world. And if you're not roaming, it's because you're consolidated into your home, because you don't want to leave, because you don't want nobody to smell you. You don't want nobody to see you. You don't want nobody to look at you because of what HS does to you. And this will bring you back to life and bring you back to going and being out there. And you I think a lot, sometimes we forget what it felt like before all this. And I want you to know that there is hope, if we take time. I mean, I have no problem with helping, but I just want to remind you that there is hope out there. But moving on. So this tool was very, very helpful for me, and I'm glad that I did it. So moving on. All right, so with the previous slide, I went ahead and combined it. I created a chart, and it allowed me to understand my son's mood swings, and it allowed me to break down everything into more of a visual aspect, because on the app, it gives you more of an ingredient aspect, but I want to be able to put it back into, like, okay, something more of where I can understand it. And so when I started breaking it down, I went ahead and created a pyramid on a spreadsheet, and put down nightshades, based off of what everybody would say, like, oh, I get it by nightshades. No, I get it by dairy. No, I get it by this and whatnot. So I put in everybody's suggestions, or when they would state something that would inflare them. So a lot of the times when I would ask questions in the groups, the responses helped me very, very good, because again, I have a 13-year-old, and it is very hard to get symptoms out of a 13-year-old. You're either just, I don't feel great, and there's nothing more to that, or yeah, mom, I feel good, and then I can't get anything else other than from more than that. So it was very hard. So the details that I got from the groups were very helpful, because it made me understand where people were saying, like, oh, well, I get them during, when my hormones, and or the heat, or when I work out. And it actually, yeah, all those tie into it, but it has an effect on what we're consuming, and what is it that we consume that day that triggered that type of reaction throughout the day. So this spreadsheet let me understand, once we started putting it down on paper on a visual aspect, I was able to look at the feelings, and then from the feelings I got to match it with what he ate, and when I started comparing it with consistency. So if you see on the very top bar underneath D and G, you see that he had cheese every day that week. And at the time when I was putting this information in, it didn't even click to me. Like, it really didn't. And if you see on the bottom, where you see nightshades, you also see ketchup, but ketchup is every day. And he didn't get impact. Even, I'm only showing you a snippet of a 2 week section here, but in this little area, this is where I saw the trend. And I was like, okay. And then I ruled out inconsistencies, like potato chips. They have the same ingredients because I use the other app to compare ingredients. And I'm like, okay, so potato chips and tater tots, and mashed potatoes, those would be inconsistent because he can tolerate potato, whether it be altered or not. But I noticed that if cheese was altered in any way, it came back as something that he was not able to, or it showed as an effect on the spreadsheet, and it was visual on the day that he would wake up, because it was either in his stool or he didn't go to the bathroom regularly. He would wake up, kind of like groggy or just very tired. So these are the things that kind of help me understand to the triggers. And so now that this chart helped me roll out his dairy, I went ahead and removed dairy completely and replaced it with something else that I was able, and I'll share that too if y'all want to know. But I replaced the dairy with something else, and I didn't see any side effects from that. There was no leakage, there was no body aches, there was no grogginess the next day. So this was a really great chart to use. And if anybody wants a copy of it, you're more than welcome to ask, or just reach out to me and I'll be more than willing to provide it to you, because it's super useful and very informative. And is it time consuming? Yes, but it's fun to see and understand. You get to actually really learn your body, and I thought that was pretty awesome. And so then on this slide, this is going to be the last one. And you can see kind of like the before and after again. I know that in the very beginning of this journey, I was told, don't take out blackheads. And I did it. I did it because I just felt like it was a contribution to what was going on. And I honestly feel like it still is. I noticed that ever since my son's food intake has changed, meaning we removed the gluten, we removed the milk, even though the milk's been recent, I noticed that he doesn't even have blackheads the way he used to. I used to take out at least 20 blackheads at a minimum every single week. And as the months progressed and we were making adjustments to what he was consuming, I noticed that the blackheads were not disc looking. They were no longer very huge. They're like just very light gray and shallow, to where they're just super itty bitty. And I'm like, okay, so I don't want to irritate his skin, so I would just leave them there. But they didn't grow any bigger. So I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm going to still monitor them as he continues to go on this journey, but I just want to show you the before and after on his left eye. This was the left eye. These were just consistent. These would always come and go, and they just never went away, as you can see on the left picture. And towards a lot of the women call it the bikini line. So on the men, it's just, on the upper thigh. He was already tunneling there, and we were able to stop that and reverse it, and now it's healing very well. And I will probably post a video, if not, hopefully soon. And it's just me touching his where the tunnels were at, and behind the tunnel, I can actually feel the skin. The skin is behind it, meaning that tunnel has sealed up, so there is no hollowness behind that skin, which was awesome. Same thing with the eye. You can see on the bottom, it just, got really big. I popped it, or I lanced it, made a real clean incision with a lancer, and it was able to heal properly. So I hope this slide helps somebody. And if you would like to start this process, you are more than welcome to reach out to me. I'm more than willing to help anybody. And I've helped quite a few people, and they are seeing progress, but they would like to stay anonymous for personal reasons, and I don't blame them. This is not a disease that anybody wants to discuss openly or talk about. It was very hard for me, and it still is, but it makes it easier because now I see the progress and I'm very happy with what we're doing. And again, nobody has to agree. We can all agree to disagree, and I'd be fine with it. But if you just want the healing at least, or if you want to start with, I don't know how to start, you're more than welcome to reach out to me and I can help you. And I'm more than willing, like I said. So I wish you all the best and I will keep you posted. Thank you.